It is summertime and crypto does not typically do well in the summer. Is this the case this year? Let's dive in. NASDAQ 100 is all-time high regions and has its highest daily close. It's mostly this tech, of course, NASDAQ 100, top 100 tech companies. There's a little bit of red right now for whatever reason, but the greenery in the tech is still there. In terms of Bitcoin, our sols, our ETH, and so on, we're just in this kind of little bit of a sideways pattern for the last day or so. We've moved up, but we're just in this period where we're still not really sure what's going to happen in the Middle East, if there's further conflict or whatever. And it's more of a boring time. One thing though is when everyone calls it a boring time, it is kind of boring, but when they call it that, there's no reason why something can't kind of push that up from like the Binance side or whatever. That kind of pushes the liquidity there. But I don't think that's going to be the case, and I'll cover that shortly. Fair and Greed's at 66, and the DXY, the actual US dollar strength, is at its all-time low since 2022. So this is good for like people going to the US, and it's good for riskier assets. It's not good for the US dollar, of course. This is a fractal that Julian's looking at. So we're looking at a repetition of this period, Jan 2001 to the S&P 500 today, meaning this could be a similar set of situations or circumstances that allow us to go higher. From here, for a couple more years, do we go higher? It's not of my opinion, but for another year, sure. This here is a little bit more complicated. You can ask Grok to explain it for you, but what it's looking at is GMI, which is all to do with manufacturing index in the US, and very important as it goes higher. Like there's a lot more stuff happening in the US, and that pushes up prices as more people in the US has more money, and these risky assets, the Bitcoin stuff, go up for sure. Versus inflation surprise index, 5 months lead. This is also indicating that it follows this pretty well, the NASDAQ, and this is also indicating a pump up. NASDAQ pumps, S&P 500 typically will pump, and we will pump. M2 supply is ready for another leg up, and a sizable leg up before a little bit of a dip. Thus far, it's basically been following this. Of course, war throws a little bit of a problem in that, but in general, it's pretty indicative. We've covered Katoshi settings for quite some time. It still works like 80 to 90% of the time, and it's worth checking out that video if not. If we have a look at our current level of resistance and support and whatnot, we've got a bit of a trifecta of things happening. So we'll kind of ignore the upper levels of resistance right now. We have this resistance level here, the support level here. We have a lower low here, but we have broken up past this first level of support, which we broke down, became resistance. This is our support. This is our resistance. We've broken through it, but we basically need to continue to break this. So 109,000 before we go up further. If this does not happen, there is an expectation, nothing's financial advice, covered by Michael Pacino and some other traders, that we have a bit of a repeat of the summer of last year. So leading up into the summer, where we're just going to come sideways. It's going to be a little bit boring. This is still a decent opportunity if you just use the fib, if you use this tool, fib, fair and greed. Fair and greed, fib, you'll still be pretty damn profitable. Do it with Sol, do it with BTC, do it with whatever you're interested in. And just get good at trading or get good at something else or yap on Twitter, whatever it is, as opposed to just trying to James win it and just leverage long 40x, everything long, everything short. YOLO, lose a whole lot of money. But let's just break it down. You've got here, we have to exclude this first part, right? This is our high, this is our low. And then you can see we start to, from this point, you can see how all the fibs levels are being respected and coming to the top. And then you reset the fib and you work out where it is you want to come down, buy a little bit, especially if you're looking at the fib video that we've done where we get a bit of a green confirmation. And then you can just take profits. So buy, take profit here, take profit at this fib, come on down. You buy here, it push through, unfortunately, buy some more at this level, potentially, take profits, so on and so on. And you just play it like that, keep on resetting your fib as a system that works. In terms of our coinglass.com, we'll give it a refresh because it's always very dynamic. This is dynamic because, and we can cover this on maybe Foji's Hub video channel, YouTube channel, but essentially market makers will add liquidity and remove liquidity. There's a lot of cancel orders, and this is why Hyperliquid's so successful. Cancel orders are actually prioritized above taking the actual trade orders. At this point, we can indicate that we've got probably a larger reason to move up to take these based on the market makers, but it looks as though there's a little bit of a lag on that data for whatever reason. Useless is a coin that we spoke about yesterday, and we've touched on it briefly. Nothing with too much attention, but I think it's a good idea to even do the bonk guys, top picks and where they were, how they, what their system is, because he shills like very organically. He's not just shilling just $5 million, $200,000 tokens. He's got his core bets, and he does really, really well. Filecoin done exceptionally well, bonk, and a few others. But the summary here is Crypto.com has listed useless coin, and it's done very, very well. And this is like it has a lot of room to break out. This is a good time to be DLMing it, in my opinion only. And the actual amount of volume is nothing crazy, but it has that meme coinery nature. It probably could explode quite a bit higher. So it's going to earn you some fees, get you some good exposure, and it's not as boring as selling USDC in a pool, which isn't fun. Take your soul, stake your soul, failday.com, as opposed to, the DLM method can be quite boring in these markets. Hosco, we're still interested in. We are watching it. We have a little bit of a stop loss at around 19 million. We'll cut our losses there, but we think it has higher to go. And once again, this is primarily in a DLM strategy as well. Having a look at the general market conditions now, Fed Chair Powell has this testimony. Basically, rate cuts. Trump wants rate cuts. Powell says no, and Powell's winning. Fed well positioned to wait on rate cuts. Tariffs likely to push up inflation, weigh on economy. No immediate signal of interest rate cuts. Labor market's solid. Inflation has eased, but remains somewhat elevated. My take on this is July is probably not going to pass as a rate cut. September probably would, and September should be when we start to become a little bit more risk on. We can't make this prediction so early in case things blow up in the Middle East in terms of tensions, but that would be more of an indication to me. That still means we've got things to do. We've got things to hustle before things start to get euphoric. And this is not bad in some ways, because it means to me like the cycle can continue longer and we've got more time to learn. Infinex now has multiple passkey support. So 1Password I'm a big fan of. I've done a video on 1Password on the Foji's Hub channel. But you can also add this, an iCloud and a Google password as well. That way you can access if you misplace one or whatnot. Drift is offering 0 fees on BTC trading. So if you're buying BTC and leveraging up this 101x leverage, this is for you. The really cool thing is there's blockchains and dApps out there that will be like this for retail and the people not providing liquidity, but the actual users. So this is really cool right now, but move forward, it's going to be with one blockchain that I'm fairly confident it'll be commonplace. So that is very cool, and I'll tell you about that more in the future. Chainlink, that are not bullish on the token or anything, and not as good as Pyth, to be nowhere near as good as Pyth, but they're still a reputable oracle in the space. Partner with MasterCard, which verifies and synchronizes key transaction details to enable MasterCard holders to access crypto directly on chain. I don't know how this really works, because they've done some graphics, but I don't really know how it works, because ultimately it's not going to be held on your MasterCard, right? Either way, this is good for crypto in general, even though it's a little bit esoteric. This is pretty cool news. NBA team San Antonio Spurs have signed a multi-year jersey deal with Ledger. I reckon that's damn cool. And finally, CLOBs, central limit order books. I've covered this a few times, and this video here, which is on Foji's Hub, this goes through each of them. And if you just went through all these, if you picked your bets based on this one video and maybe allocated capital based on which ones you think are good if they have a token, or use them if they don't, this would probably be, and I'm fairly sure of this, one of the most profitable things you could do. You can see in here, Say is mentioned, and Say is up like 71% in the last week. That's everything. Thanks for watching. Cheers.